first thing we need to get into, y'all saw how the intro went down. Y'all saw how the intro was, okay? On the intro, we had Mr. Jay-Z and Diddy. I'll play that again for those that was not in here, okay? I'll play that again for those that was not in here because they try to tell us that these two do not know each other.
Give it up for Jay-Z, yo! Hey, yo, check this out. Hey, yo, Hov, man. Hey, yo, Hov is doing a lot of things, man. Most importantly, you know, he had a recital that he has to be at the Blue. But I reached out to him, and I told him that this right here was important. Bad Boy celebrating 20 years of hits. And this is extended family. You've been there with me through my ups and downs. Yes, sir. Whenever I get in trouble, this is the one I call. This is my strategist right here. This is my brother.
My strategist. My strategist? You got the nerve to call this man your strategist up there. But y'all trying to tell us that they don't know each other. Norma Dominguez, what's going on? You're trying to tell us that they don't know each other? I'm kerfuffled. I'm very confused. What do you mean you don't know them? What do you mean they don't know each other? I don't understand that.
B.l.a.c's brother.
Yes, sir.
It's Brooklyn's own Brooklyn. So I appreciate you. He came 5,000 miles away to come here to Brooklyn to represent for B.l.a.c. Make some noise for home.
So, if you don't know, that was also at the Bad Boy tour. So yeah, Jay-Z actually showed up to a Bad Boy tour, missed blues recital for Diddy. So don't try to tell me that these niggas don't know each other whatsoever. That they're just associates. They're just business associates. Don't try to pull that bullshit with me. I'm not for it. That was the biggest laugh I got all week when I heard that shit. So we're going to get into that. So where we left off at last time was we had talked about the lawsuit. I'm going to premiere, actually, the live. Since YouTube didn't get it, I know Twitch got it and Patreon got it. I'm going to get to premiere that live tomorrow. So early tomorrow, those that didn't get to see the live that got cut off, I'm going to premiere that tomorrow so you guys can watch that before I get on tomorrow night. So where we left off at was the lawsuit. The lawsuit where these two pretty much had finally got involved, okay? Or should I say, where Jay-Z finally got involved. Let me tell you this. Yeah, Fairy B keep telling me that my mic is low. I don't know what's going on with it. I don't know why my mic is low. I don't know why my mic is low. Yeah, the video is loud. I don't know why my mic is low. I've been trying to figure out why it is for the longest. Yeah, Jay-Z pretty much has to distance himself, but at the same time, like, Stevie Wonder could have saw this shit from a mile away. We called this almost a year in advance, more than a year in advance, that these two were pretty much going to be, you know, involved in a case together, let alone involved in a sexual assault case, in a SA case. We knew long time ago that they were going to be involved in a case like this. So for it to just pop up, it shouldn't have been a shock to anybody. That's the other thing. That's the part that nobody wants to talk about. The fact that we knew ahead of time, almost a year in advance, that these two were going to be involved in a SA case. Now, it has not gotten to the part of a trafficking case yet, but that is dwindling in the air. That's literally dangling in the air right now, of them two being involved in a trafficking case. Allegedly, if you will. Allegedly, okay? So, let's play the press conference, right? I know I saw Mims, shout out to Mims, make it make sense. I saw him play the actual press conference, and I saw a couple people play the press conference. So, I don't think I'll be in trouble for playing some of the press conference. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I want to play just some of it because I'm a little bit deterred on why Mr. Shapiro would like to make such, you know, such allegations that, Mr. Jay-Z was not involved in this thing. I understand that you want to protect your client, right? I understand you want to protect your client. But as you said, there were inconsistencies.
When you're trying to evaluate whether something occurred, you have to look at different pieces of the narrative. The location, where it happened, the witnesses, who were they, what did they say, the details. Details are very important in time. So we start off with the location. And according to their complaint, after approximately 20 minutes, she arrived at a White House with a U-shaped driveway and a gate. There is no such location in New York, 20 minutes from Radio City. It does not exist. There is no such location. We don't know whether they created a location in order to try to get jurisdiction in New York so they could bring this case in New York, or whether they just didn't do their homework. But any New Yorker knows there is no such location. Beyond that, this was supposed to have taken place at Mr. Combs' after party, according to them. When you look at the homes associated with Mr. Combs during that period of time, and even not during that period of time, none of them matches. He had a townhouse, he had a house in the Hamptons hours away, and he had homes in New Jersey, but not at that time. None of the homes work, the location doesn't work, because this never happened. And again, when you really bear down on the location and his whereabouts, you quickly realize, because if there's photographic evidence and witnesses are coming forward, that Mr. Carter was in a commercial establishment after the VMAs. He wasn't at a house. Unfortunately for them, they needed to create this house in order to create the narrative. But he wasn't at a White House that did not exist. And this is
So, here's the thing, right? I don't need to play no more of this, right? In that picture right there, we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about that picture right there. I don't need to play no more of this. That's the thing. Arrows 120, what's going on? I appreciate you doing that too. So, I don't even play no more of this, right? Peep game. So, he says that the house doesn't exist. That's first inconsistency. That house do exist. The New Jersey house does exist. All you left to do is put in Diddy, New Jersey, 2000 house. Literally, you put that in, you see him, a picture of him, in this goddamn house. What do you mean the house don't exist? Stop telling me lies, okay? Then you want to tell me that this Negro was not at the VMAs. What is this? What is this? What do you mean he went to VMAs? What is this? Jay-Z photographed arriving at the MTV Video Music Awards after party at what? The Lotus nightclub in downtown Manhattan on September 7th, 2000. The award show was held at Radio City Music Hall. So, of course, again, you keep telling me that there was no VMAs that he attended. That he'd attend. Okay, so this is the after party that he so-called attended, right, that night. However, this does not say that he didn't leave the club and go to another after party. Because why on earth would this gentleman also have the lyric, after the party, it's the after party, then after the party, it's the hotel lobby, then why would he have that lyric? Don't try to tell me that he was just at the nightclub the whole time. Jay, don't move like that. He himself has said that before. He don't move like that. Like, what do you mean that he couldn't have been at the house at the same time? So now you have two inconsistencies, as you want to say. Like I said, I don't need to listen to the rest of that press conference to know that you're trying to run bullshit on me. You're trying to run damage control. And see, that's another thing. If he is so-called not guilty of this, if he is so-called not guilty of this, yeah, Jigga Kelly not guilty. If he is so-called not guilty of this, why are you trying to do this extent of damage control for him? Why are there whole press conferences being done? Why are there whole press releases being done? Why is he now getting loud about it? It's little things that stand out to me. And then, like I said, the biggest lie you want to fucking tell me is that these two don't know each other. But then I see picture after picture of them. We see picture after picture after picture after picture after picture of them. But you want to tell me that these two don't know each other. You can literally just put their two names in. But this is the lie that y'all want to run to the media. These motherfuckers don't know each other. There's literally a video called Black Excellence about these two on Diddy's page. But these two Negroes don't know each other. They've done so much business with each other together. Picture 1,000 words with this one, ain't it? Been in many situations together, if you will. Y'all want to try to tell me that these two niggas don't know each other. I'm not going for it no more. Slugs of Truth, what's going on? This is my whole thing, yo. This is my whole thing right here. Matter of fact, I ain't done.
It's 2020, y'all. Yeah. And it's different than when it was 2016. You know, the game has been elevated. As we can tell, there's no expense being spared. We had
no expense being spared, right? We had a lavish brunch in the Hamptons, I believe they was at. This the last brunch, wasn't it? Now, I'm gonna say this for Patreon and Twitch, but my next video that I'm doing that's gonna be exclusive is what allegedly, I'm gonna say it on here, allegedly, how these two niggas got rid of Clarence Avon. I'm gonna break that down. I'm gonna break down how these two got rid of Clarence Avon. And they thought they were slick about it. But literally, they are literally going through the karma of that right now. I already know Jay is a 33rd degree Mason. I know that already. You've been at since Blueprint 3. That was your celebration of it, okay? So I already know that you're being protected heavily by the elites. But I will break that down in an exclusive. I won't do that here on YouTube, but I will do that on an exclusive on Patreon, okay? So, again, try to tell us that they don't know each other. But this is the last brunch right here in 2020, where these two are literally doing a toast to each other. They don't know each other. Wow. They don't know each other.
Feeling good?
Oh, you put that thing on the.
So you see how we do it here on Saturday. This is what it's feeling good?
Oh, you put that thing on the.
I'm gonna put this
See
one
how
on
we
big
do it here on
screen.
Saturday. This is what it's.
I ain't come to play tonight. I'm putting that one on the big screen. I ain't come to play tonight. I ain't come to play tonight. God damn it. I did not come to play tonight. I ain't come to play nice.
Feeling good?
Oh, you put that thing on.
Now, in the background, I wish I could zoom in for you guys. But you do see little legs, don't you? You do see them little legs, don't you? You see them little girls in the background, don't you? If you have a big screen right now, you can zoom in on it. I paused it for you. Yeah, why are you getting excited coming out of a room full of kids? I don't know where this is, I don't know what this is from. I'm keeping it 1,000 with y'all. Don't know what this is from. Don't know where they at. But it don't look right. It don't look right. It don't look right. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't know if they kids playing. I don't know where they at. This is where I have to be a little bit transparent with that. You know, I have to play both sides of the coin, if you will. Okay, because I have to say allegedly when I see that on the screen as well, right? At the same time, I need to know why you coming out that room and he right there and he talking about something we doing this every Saturday shit. I need to know what y'all talking about. I need more clarification on what y'all doing every Saturday with this room in this scenario. I need to know that. That's my question. I'm not here to say what's going on here. I don't know what's going on here. I have questions. But you see clear as day was in the background. You see clear as motherfucking day was in the background. Like I said, if you want to zoom in, you can zoom in. But all I know is this don't look right. Again, y'all want to tell me these two niggas don't know each other.
So you see how we do it here on the Saturdays, just as good as
You see how we do here in the set. Again, I don't know. I'm just a guy that has eyes, you know? I just have eyes.
No way Diddy just done this on stage.
This y'all motherfucking city, nigga.
No way Diddy just done this on stage.
This y'all motherfucking city, nigga.
I was shocked too. I mean, did he have to do it twice? Just for good measures? Was it for good measures, the second slap? I'm just saying. But, again, y'all want to tell me these two niggas don't know each other?
Thank you. I love you. I'm having a great night.
I bet. Again, you want to tell me these two niggas don't know each other? That's what I should have titled this shit. They don't know each other. What? I'm not fooled no more. I'm not fooled. I never was. Excuse me. Pardon me. I never was fooled. I never was fooled by this. But then you want to say that there's inconsistencies, right? There's inconsistencies in this. So, peep game, right? Peep game. So, during the interview,
you should always advocate for yourself and be a voice for yourself. You should never let what somebody else did run your life.
A 38-year-old mother from Alabama.
Okay, so, right. I'm going to just bring this to right here, right? Because this is the part that we need to pay attention to.
You know, being chastised by their fans.
All right, Chloe Malas joining us now live. Chloe, we just heard a very strongly worded statement from Jay-Z. What else are you hearing from him and his team?
Yes, so his attorney said that they're going.
That part right there is what you need to pay attention to. What you heard from Jay-Z and his team. Because now I know who worked for who. Now I see who worked for who. That's all I needed to hear. That right there was all I needed to hear. Because that gave me all I needed to know. Matter of fact, hold on, y'all. One second. Okay. I was trying to see if I could figure out where that was at down there. if I could turn up things a little bit. But I think that raised it a little bit. I think that raised up the volume just a little bit. Anyway, that right there is what you need to hear. Is the fact that she has direct contact with Jay-Z's team. That told me everything I needed to know as far as they set this whole thing up. They set the lady up pretty much to even have that interview. A lady with autism. So now I'm hearing that you're accused of paying people off and whatnot, right? Why are you being accused of paying people off?
One of the biggest rappers of all time and one of the flashiest attorneys on the scene today are going to war. Tony Busby publicly named Jay-Z in a lawsuit on behalf of a woman who says he raped her as a child. And from there, the fight was on. And now the powerhouse Texas attorney is involved in a lawsuit against Jay-Z's entertainment company, accusing them of paying his own clients to turn against him. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber.
You know why that shouldn't be a shock to nobody, though? For the simple fact that he has been called out for this same shit way too many times before. He's been called out for paying people off way too many times in the past. So why is this even a shock?
Hey guys, so this is pretty scary. Did you know that children are being diagnosed with serious conditions like type 2 diabetes and non-alcoholic fatty liver disease? And research has been rapists. You know that attention has been shifting from what are horrific allegations against Combs and Jay-Z to this battle that has been going on both in the press and in legal fightings between Tony Busby, the attorney representing this alleged victim, and Jay-Z and Roc Nation, the entertainment giant that Jay-Z founded. Now, Tony Busby, already a prominent lawyer in Texas who represented accusers in cases against high-profile clients like NFL player Deshaun Watson, he burst onto the world stage really in October when he announced his intention of filing more than 100 civil lawsuits against Sean Diddy Combs. And he also promised to name high-profile celebrities that he says were involved in the sexual assault and raping of both men and women.
The biggest secret in the entertainment industry that really wasn't a secret at all has finally been revealed to the world.
And I'll tell you what, Busby, true to his word, has filed more than a dozen individual cases on behalf of Jane and John Doe's. But the first celebrity to be publicly named in one of these complaints was Jay-Z, real name Sean Carter, now listed as a defendant in one of these cases. And the backlash from that was swift. Roc Nation, Jay-Z, they came out swinging, not only denying the allegations that Jay-Z raped a 13-year-old girl back in 2000, but also confronting Tony Busby about what they say is alleged misconduct. We actually did a whole Sidebar episode about the accusations that Busby committed ethical violations. You can check that out on our YouTube channel for the full story. But going back to this, on top of all of that, Alex Spiro, Jay-Z's lead counsel, filed a lawsuit against Busby and basically said that Busby had tried to extort money from his client, saying if Jay-Z didn't pay up, this lawsuit would be filed and his reputation would be ruined. But now I have another lawsuit to talk to you about. This new lawsuit that was filed against Roc Nation by one of Busby's former clients. And this accuses the media company of essentially, allegedly trying to buy him off. So the lawsuit claims that Roc Nation paid people to impersonate officials, use fake badges, and offer money to people who agreed to file lawsuits against Busby's law firm. Again, now Jay-Z's number one enemy. We got our hands on this complaint that was filed in Harris County, Texas, with a man named Gerardo Garcia as the plaintiff. And Garcia is a former client of the Busby firm who says he was approached at his home by some of these alleged bad actors. This lawsuit names multiple defendants, by the way. Marcy Bryan Croft, an attorney who works with Roc Nation, her law firm, MJ Legal, investigator Jessica Santiago, Roc Nation, and Quinn Emanuel, Urquhart and Sullivan. This is the law firm that represents Jay-Z, often just referred to as Quinn Emanuel. Now, the lawsuit begins, defendants have conspired to obstruct justice by engaging shadowy operatives to illegally seek out more than 24 current and former clients of the Busby law firm to convince those clients to bring frivolous cases against the Busby law firm. Defendant Roc Nation is financing the effort. Its attorneys, Marcy Croft and Quinn Emanuel, are orchestrating the effort. Quite the accusations. And the complaint accuses the defendants of basically committing barratry. It's a legal term you might not have heard before, but it's the act of encouraging someone to file frivolous lawsuits so that their attorney can make money. So here are the alleged facts as laid out in the complaint. On behalf of two clients, Tony Busby and the Busby Law Firm sent demand letters to Sean Jay-Z Carter's attorneys in New York. The letters made no monetary demand. They only sought a confidential sit-down to discuss the client's allegations. Again, this is the client who claims that she was raped by Jay-Z and Sean Combs. In response to the two letters, defendant Quinn Emanuel filed suit against the Busby Law Firm. This is that lawsuit that was filed by Sean Carter. This is the one where he says that he was extorted by Tony Busby. And this, by the way, he was first filed as a John Doe. We didn't know it was Carter yet. This was filed before he was officially named in this lawsuit that he allegedly sexually assaulted a 13-year-old girl. Going back to the statement, it says, that suit alleged that the firm was trying to extort Sean Jay-Z Carter. That lawsuit was and is frivolous and will be dismissed. Several weeks later, the Busby Law Firm, on behalf of one of the clients who sent the demand letter, filed a lawsuit against Mr. Carter. At or around that time, defendant's conspiracy began. One such target of defendant's solicitation was plaintiff Gerardo Garcia. Mr. Garcia is a resident of Harris County. He was injured in a Jones Act lawsuit and hired the Busby Law Firm to represent him. His case was settled in 2020. He was happy with the resolution of his case and had no complaints with the Busby Law Firm. Nearly 5 years later, after his case had resolved, not seeking to hire a lawyer or file a lawsuit, Mr. Garcia was contacted out of the blue by two investigators. And investigators is in quotes here. This contact was an illegal solicitation and was made on behalf of and as part of a conspiracy involving defendants Croft, Rock Nation, and Quinn Emanuel. One of these investigators identified herself as Jessica Santiago. According to Garcia, two investigators came to his home and flashed him some sort of badge saying they were from, quote, the state. And they asked him about his 2020 settlement, wanting to know if he was happy with the result and asking to see the paperwork. They allegedly said that they could get him in touch with a private lawyer who could help sue the Busby firm and get him a lot of money. So what proof do Busby and his client have to back up these quite salacious allegations? Well, Busby says several interactions between his former clients and these alleged bad actors were caught on tape. Yeah, in fact, Busby shared a photo on Instagram of these three men standing on a front stoop in a neighborhood. In the caption, he said, investigators from New York have contacted many of our law firm's current and former clients. These investigators aren't very smart. What they didn't anticipate was one of the clients decided to record the conversation. And the filing includes an alleged transcript of a conversation between Gerardo Garcia and Jessica Santiago, as well as affidavits from other former clients. They say that they were contacted and offered money if they would sue Busby's firm. Now, according to the transcript, Santiago wanted Garcia to sign what she called a contract to investigate, which she explained gave a private lawyer permission to look into Garcia's case and settlement. She also mentioned several times that she is from the state. The transcript reads, it's a private lawyer, we are from the state, but it's a Busby's private account and not an account for lawyers, and he was charging the interest and taking the money. And he was stealing the checks from insurance. And so he didn't know that Busby was stealing. That was his case. Now, I don't know much about your case, but the lawyer you will speak with today, she will explain that she will open your case, see what happened to you. But your name appeared on the list of people that may have something unusual, and she wants to investigate your case, and then she will recommend someone familiar with your kind of case to recover all that money. The client then asks, and they are from the state? The PI replied, according to the transcript, the lawyer is from here, Texas, and also has a license in New York. Us, the investigators, are from the state, but we are not lawyers. Now, Santiago reportedly goes on to claim that 70 people are involved in a class action lawsuit against Busby, and she allegedly tells Garcia that the lawyer she wants him to talk to is Marcy Croft from MJ Legal. Again, this is a private firm, but Croft reportedly does work with Rock Nation. Now, in the filing, Busby included a screenshot of one of Croft's posts on Instagram where she gave a shout out to Rock Nation and Jay-Z, saying she was proud to be a small part of a great team. Now, the filing also includes another alleged transcript of a recorded telephone conversation, but it is unclear when this conversation exactly.
I wish I had the sound effect for what more can I say, because it's like it's literal. It's so much evidence. There's so much evidence that he literally paid off all these people, down to even the employee, down to someone that's now employed damn near by Rock Nation. Like, what more do you need to show that he did that? So I have the actual lawsuit here that we can read. I should say I guess you want to say the petition. I have the whole petition here. and we can read. Okay. Can I bring it up? All right. So it says Gerardo Garcia versus Marcy Brian Croft, Rock Nation LLC, legal PA Jessica Santiago, Quinn Emmanuel Urquhart, and Sullivan LLP. Plaintiff original petition for barratry and conspiracy to commit. I guess you want to say I can't. What is it? Oh, got shit in front of me. Barratry, excuse me. Plaintiff files this original petition against defendants Marcy Brian Croft, MJ Legal PA, investigator Jessica Santiago Rock Nation LLC, and Quinn Emmanuel Urquhart and Sullivan LLP. So let's get down to, because they already said that part with them. Okay, so what we're trying to do is we are trying to put this thing together for the company that we're working for. We can get you paid. You can get money right soon, you know. We gave this kid $1,000 to start yesterday just to get him on the right path. At the end of the day, this is going to go through the courts. Busby is getting sued. That's an exhibit, what does it say? Exhibit 4 on page 6. So that's right here. Crazy shit, crazy shit, crazy. So let's get down here. So that's the parties. Let's see, this is the evidence. We'll get down to the allegations, of course. So venue and jurisdiction, you got discovery, control plan, evidence, facts. Okay, so this is okay. This is see. The official and only law firms in Mississippi authorized by Team Rock to handle matters of Mississippi prison reform are. Okay, see, this is more Miss Marcy Croft. This is a good, strong petition, though. This is a strong petition, though. And the thing is, they always keep saying that Busby be filing bullshit. This is a very credible petition here with evidence to even back it up. So venue and jurisdiction. So venue is proper in Harris County, Texas, pursuant to section. Oh, okay. Oh no. That's not what I was looking for. Plaintiff intends to conduct discovery under level 3, Texas Rule of Civil Procedure. Okay, this is what I was trying to look for, the evidence. The filing is supporting by the following evidence, which is attached and incorporated herein. Transcript of defendant Jessica Santiago and Gerardo Garcia. Transcript of defendant's agent and Skylar Taylor. Affidavit of Skylar Taylor. Affidavit of Shannon Champagne. So on behalf of two clients, Tony Busby and Busby Law Firm sent demand letters to Sean Jayz attorneys in New York. The letters made no monetary demand. They only sought a confidential sit-down to discuss the client's allegations. In response to two letters, defendant Quinn Emmanuel filed suit against the Busby Law Firm. That suit alleged that the firm was trying to extort Sean Jayz Carter, which of course they were not. That lawsuit was and is frivolous and will be dismissed. Several weeks later, the Busby Law Firm, on behalf of one of the clients who sent a demand letter, filed a lawsuit against Mr. Carter. At or around that time, defendant's conspiracy began. As part of that conspiracy, current and former clients of the Busby Law Firm began receiving solicitations from investigators asking current and former clients to sue the firm. The investigators used burner phones. Many times the investigators used fake names or flashed badges or credentials, but would not let the client see them. During some of the contacts, the investigators were pushy. and in at least 2, they pretended. See, here's the thing, right? Remember when we saw the investigators that came to the influencer's house? Don't it sound literally just like them? It sounds literally just like the investigators that we saw that came to the TikToker's house. It sounds literally just like them right now. Literally just like them. So many times the investigators use fake names or flash badges or credentials, but would not let the client see them. During some of the contacts, the investigators were pushy, and in at least 2, they pretended to be acting on behalf of the state of Texas. Several of the calls were caught on either camera or tape. In each instance, the investigators were careful not to disclose on whose behalf they were working. For good reason. The defendants on this case, did not want to disclose their participation in the flagrant violation of Texas law. Indeed, these defendants openly and brazenly violated Texas criminal laws dozens of times. One such target of defendant solicitation was plaintiff Gerardo Garcia. Mr. Garcia is a resident of Harris County. He was injured in a Jones Act lawsuit and hired the b.l.a.c law firm to represent him. Wow. His case was settled in 2020. He was happy with the resolution of his case and had no complaints with the b.l.a.c law firm. Nearly 5 years later, after his case had resolved, not seeking to hire a lawyer or file a lawsuit, Mr. Garcia was contacted out of the blue by 2 investigators. This contact was an illegal solicitation and was made on behalf of and as part of a conspiracy involving defendants Croft, Rock Nation, and Quinn Emanuel. One of these investigators identified herself as Jessica Santiago. Wow. Caught red-handed. King Osmond, what's going on? I'm talking about caught red-handed. Now, this also just came out today. This came out today, though. So it says here, December 19th, Sean Jay-Z Carter files emergency motion to prevent attorney Tony Busby from destroying evidence and requesting dismissal of anonymous lawsuit case. So, New York, December 19, 2024. Today, Sean Jay-Z Carter filed an emergency motion for preservation order seeking to prevent attorney Tony Busby from destroying key evidence in their ongoing litigation. The filing, which came through Carter's attorneys, Alex Spiro, also requested that the judge dismiss the anonymous lawsuit altogether based on the plaintiff's wide array of inconsistent and unsubstantiated statements. He points to the fact that Busby admitted to NBC News that he and his firm failed to investigate the plaintiff's claims prior to filing a lawsuit against Carter. So that was the whole thing about when they were saying that they didn't vet the actual client and figure things out thoroughly. So in the emergency motion, Spiro specifically references the factual inaccuracies in the plaintiff's account, such as her claim that she watched the 2000 MTV Video Music Awards show on a Jumbotron outside of Radio City Music Hall, and knocked on limousine door windows. Of course, I can't wait till it actually comes out that there's a limousine driver that actually remembers that encounter. However, he notes there was no Jumbotron outside of the venue in 2000. The limousine area was blocked off from the public. That part is a lie right there. In addition to the inconsistencies that Spiro outlined, NBC News identified additional irregularities in the plaintiff's narrative. In a story published on Friday night, the plaintiff told NBC News that she spoke with musician Benji Madden at the after party, but representative for Benji and his brother Joel confirmed to the publication that neither of the brothers attended the 2000 VMAs because they were on tour in the Midwest. Now, here's the thing, that part right there that also rings out to me, right? Just because they didn't attend the VMAs doesn't mean that they didn't attend the actual party, because she talked about she saw them at the party. She didn't say she saw them at the VMAs. So that's another part right there that you have to keep in mind. So as part of today's motion, Spiro wrote that there is a significant risk that Busby will seek to destroy documents or other evidence that would demonstrate that he knew or should have known that the allegations in the complaint were false. Busby previously filed a lawsuit against Roc Nation, to which the organization responded with the following statement. Tony Busby's baloney lawsuit against Roc Nation is nothing but another sham. It's pathetic attempt to distract and deflect attention. The sideshow won't change the ultimate outcome, and true justice will be served soon. So again, there's an ongoing war, as you heard before, between Roc Nation and Tony Busby. And mainly, Simple Town Radio, what's going on? The main thing that you need to understand is that like I said before, we saw this coming from so long ago. It's the fact that you were going so hard now to try to fight this off. If we're talking about a court of public opinion, if we're talking about just that alone, would you say that Jay-Z is losing this fight or winning this fight in this particular scenario? Would you say he's winning this fight or losing this fight? Because if we're talking about, like I said, just in the court of public opinion, and you're going this hard to show that you didn't do this, instead of just saying outright that you just didn't do this, my whole thing is, if you are not willing to just say that simply, and you are willing to just, and you aren't even willing to go to court about this, there's going to be a lot of people that are, it's not a secret that, Beyonce is separating her assets from you. I don't have to say allegedly with that. It's public that she supposedly, removed Carter from her name, right? It just says Beyonce now. Beyonce allegedly drops Carter's surname in Jay-Z's rape allegations controversy. Beyonce fans were left, hold on, let me move this right here. It says Beyonce fans were left stunned when they noticed a change in the superstar's surname. The singer, who is married to Jay-Z, real name Sean Carter, has been embroiled in controversy recently due to a civil lawsuit accusing her husband, Sean Diddy Combs, of sexually assaulting a 13-year-old girl at a post-2000 VMA party. Jay-Z, Roc Nation, blah, blah, blah. Amid this turmoil, eagle-eyed fans spotted that Forbes, which recently named Beyonce as one of the most influential women of the year, referred to her as Beyonce Knowles, rather than her official married name, Beyonce Knowles Carter. This led some followers to speculate about a potential soft launch name change. So, understand this, they are now going to start marketing Beyonce as just Beyonce Knowles or just Beyonce now. They're not going to be saying Beyonce Carter. And I understand why. I understand why. Because you want to separate, and this is the thing that Sloan Bella said, did she not? Did Sloan Bella not tell us that she was going to be separating herself eventually from her husband and his assets and everything that they do together? Slowly but surely. There's going to be a situation to where Jay is pretty much going to have to resurface as someone else. Change his entire identity, if you will. Just so he can come back out in the public, if you will. He's going to have to do a whole remake over of his identity, while Beyonce is pretty much going to have to separate herself completely from this situation. Now, we went over small details of, just Beyonce's bodyguard, Julius. Just small details of Mr. Julius that we've been seeing, right? And this is all alleged. This is very alleged right here, right? But there's been rumors that there has been rumors that allegedly there's something going on with these two. I have no real proof of that other than, bodyguard pictures. But what you do need to know is he's the bodyguard of Beyonce, who has been, of course, featured in viral videos and news stories. But to note about him, let's see. He is the CEO of Du Bois, his own Security Global, the private security company that employs Beyonce's bodyguard. So, now he himself is worth $3 million, but let's see about the company's net worth. See if they got global network. Oh. See what they got here for his global net worth. I don't see oh, it just says the 3 million. Okay, so it just says the 3 million right here. It just says the 3 million right here. So he's not necessarily broke. He's not necessarily broke, but he's not, half a billionaire. So News Joe, what's going on? He's not necessarily, half a billionaire like Beyonce, but he's not, entirely broke either. The gentleman is definitely not broke either. But like I said, this is only speculation, and it goes with the fact that Jay-Z and Beyonce were, notably arrived at the Super Bowl party, but then later on, it was noted that she was not anywhere to be around him. She wasn't around him whatsoever. A lot of people started to wonder what was that about as well. And then, of course, you see the public appearances, of course, at the Mufasa premiere. They made their public appearance together. But here's the thing that you have to watch this. So Mufasa showing Jay-Z, Beyonce's. All right, so where's it right here? So pretty much when they arrived there, they were saying that it was pretty much Beyonce's decision because Disney fucks with her so heavy. Of course, she was I forgot the name of the other lion that is with Simba in the movie for The Lion King. Amaya, what's going on? I forgot the name of the lion that she actually plays, but pretty much Disney fucks with her heavy, of course, and Blue Ivy is in the Mufasa movie. So, Swayze World. Oh, Swayze World. What's going on? What's going on? So being that Disney fucks with Beyonce, it was pretty much her decision on whether Jay-Z was even allowed to be there. That was pretty interesting to note. That it was Beyonce's decision on whether or not he was allowed to be there. So, Nala, thank you. That's what I was trying to figure out. So Beyonce, he played Nala in The Lion King. Now I'm not too sure who does she play? Who does Blue Ivy play? Blue Ivy in Mufasa movie. So she plays Kiara. Okay, so this is Blue Ivy's character here, Kiara. Okay. Which I didn't know there was okay, well that would make sense, of course. Kiara, which we never actually met the mother of Mufasa. We never actually did meet the mother of Mufasa. So I guess I didn't want to actually spoil that, but oh well. I have not yet seen the film myself. So, anyway, it was noted that it was Beyonce's decision whether or not Jay-Z was allowed to be on the red carpet. So, again, this is one of those things where you have to take note that they are actually separating themselves. They are definitely in. This is just rumor, allegedly. They are definitely allegedly in the works and transition of separating themselves completely. And I'm not going to say divorce because that could be, that's a little bit further down the line. That's a little bit further. That's a little bit of a push on things. But it definitely seems like that could be in the air. I definitely will say that. That is definitely something that is dwindling in the air. Now, let's go back to an old favorite of ours.
People can check me and fact check. I was working with the Notorious Big Camp, right? And I did a deal with Biggie's estate. Biggie was best friends with who? Jay-Z, and he was signed to Diddy. And a lot of people say, oh, Biggie was about to leave Bad Boy. No, he wasn't. They're confusing that with Tupac. Biggie says in the song Hypnotize, that was released a week before he died. Close like Starsky and Hutch. Me and Puff, close like Starsky and Hutch. Right? They were best friends. Real life. Sis, I've been doing this for 25 years at a pretty high level with a bunch of major clients and stuff like that. Throughout the years, people can Google it and see, and see the stuff that I've done and that type of thing. But, I want to say something real quick when we jump off. I was just sitting here thinking about some of the people who are discrediting, because I've been speaking out for, just like for the last few months, and people have been trying to discredit me. And I see that they try to discredit Jaguar, right? And the thing I want to say about that is, to start it off, is like, I challenge academics, who is a journalist. He's an investigative journalist, and he was rated the #1 media guy, and he likes to take deep dives into things, to take a deep dive into my relationship with Drake, since he likes to cover Drake, and looking to see that if I didn't do a deal with Drake and Future the Prince this year, 2024, I challenge academics to look and see, contact Future the Prince, contact Drake, and see if we didn't do a deal this year. And I say all that to say, because if I can touch Drake, pause, no Diddy, if I can touch Drake, if I can go that high to the biggest artist in the world, then there's no telling where I can go. And so my credibility should never be called into question, because I've done deals with Drake this year, and that's fact. And if anybody ever trying to discredit that, like an academics or anything, he can contact Drake direct, ask about me, and ask if we did not do a deal this year.
Which is kind of crazy, considering the fact that he did necessarily, allegedly, kind of get him kidnapped and, held for ransom and all that type of thing, allegedly.
Secondly, a lot of people have been hitting me about, how could Jaguar Wright know all these things, right? And how, Jaguar Wright hasn't worked with Jay-Z since, when she did the Unplugged. That's a long time ago. Well, I can tell you, just from what I've experienced, is the people that have contacted me since I've done like your show and since I've done other shows, people have contacted me, other victims, and have sent me, obviously there's been some people that have sent me stuff that, doesn't check out or whatever, but victims have contacted me and they have sent me proof that can never be disputed, photos, everything else, because they don't want to bring their story out, but they like what we're doing. So they're whistleblowing, but they're doing quietly to protect their jobs and to protect their families and to protect, whatever. They're not comfortable speaking out. So if I've got all kinds of information in the last 2 months, just from doing, shows like you guys, I can't imagine all the stuff that Jaguar Wright has got and to her, and the access that she's seen.
What has come your way as far as, let's just say, either backlash or just trying to discredit you, or like, what can you let us know kind of what?
There hasn't been any backlash as far as, like, you know, what Jaguar's experienced, right? And I was just watching Academics the other day, and he was being objective about her, but he was also saying, like, he didn't believe her. And which to me was just was crazy. Didn't go off any evidence. There was no proof sent to him, just simply going off the words. And then I saw the media run with that narrative, which I thought was extremely unprofessional and unfair, and discredit her and say, you know, that he uncovered something that basically was during the tour with the Mill, DMX, Jay-Z.
The Hard Knock Life.
No.
Or maybe a different one.
Yeah, they had the documentary for it. What was that called? I'll think of it. I'll think of it here in a little bit.
Yeah, it was a documentary.
He's talking about Backstage, the documentary that where they pretty much documented everything that was going on backstage at the Hard Knock Life tour, and they called it Backstage. This is a very phenomenal movie. I might watch that one of these days, but it's kind of hard to even look at that nowadays.
Backstage or the
Backstage with the Mill and all that. I used to work with her, and I definitely it was unmistakable. You know, in 2024, the trans women are, you know, it can be hard. You know, like a lot of people that, you know, they don't know, but back then it wasn't as advanced, and you could clearly tell, you know, that was a guy.
Okay, with that being said, just to, you know, stay within the world of Jay-Z, everyone remembers Jay-Z, of course, before Beyonce. You know, hip hop, you know, climbing up the ranks, you know, beef with Nas, you know, of course, coming right after Biggie Smalls, Big L's death, and then, of course, Beyonce kind of cleaned up his image a little bit. It seems like a lot of these conversations are coming before or right at the cusp of him, of course, marrying Beyonce, you know, revealing that they were married, and kind of changing his image a little bit. Do you feel is that contrast as far as almost night and day of what Jay-Z is now versus back then before his marriage?
I really can't speak on how he is now, but I would say so just from like the general perception. You know, I was talking to this TikToker the other day, and she was pretty shocked because I told her, you know, that I was seeing some of the backlash that Jaguar was getting, and I saw that Ray J had said something, you know, disrespecting her. And I told the TikToker, it went viral like on TikTok yesterday. I was like, well, listen, Ray J is just defending Beyonce and Jay-Z because, you know, Jay-Z's a cuckold. And once again, I know that for 100% fact. Like I said, go back to Academics. You know, Academics likes to break stuff down, fact check me, and see if I did not work with Drake and get paid with Drake this year. And if I'm working with Drake, then I have access to everybody. So I know that Jay-Z is a cuckold, right? He likes to watch Beyonce with other men. Ray J, from what I heard, even before all this happened, was one of the guys that used to smash Beyonce while Jay-Z would watch.
Bumbleclad, what me say? What me say?
Then I have access to everybody. So I know that Jay-Z is a cuckold, right? He likes to watch Beyonce with other men. Ray J, from what I heard, even before all this happened, was one of the guys that used to smash Beyonce while Jay-Z would watch. Diddy, as we know, is into those things. That's in the indictment. You know, Cassie has not denied it, but they've came out and said, you know, that Diddy used to like to watch Cassie. That's what he's into. Some men like to do that stuff. There's not a crime in that. But yes, Ray J, from what I was told, from being inside at the highest level, that Jay-Z likes to watch Beyonce with
being inside at the highest level. That's a punchline for your ass. Being inside at the highest level. No wonder they've been doing the damage control with Mr. Ray J. You caught it right there, ladies and gentlemen. This is why Mr. Ray J was concerned about his well-being. This is why Ray J now has been quiet. Haven't you noticed that? Since this rape allegation has come into the news, haven't you noticed a certain somebody reconciled with Nicki Minaj and been very, 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 very quiet all of a sudden? He's been very, very quiet in the media. And shh. They just shh on Mr. Ray J, didn't they? For weeks and weeks and weeks, he was fighting Diddy boys and making allegations, and assholes are being taken advantage of, and all that, right? All that. Now all of a sudden we don't hear no more Ray J. Talking with Orlando Brown and whatnot, and sitting down with Pastors Brian, and nothing about Ray J no more, do we? Nothing. Ain't that something? Wouldn't it be something that all along, this is what they were trying to pay Ray J from saying? Allegedly. What if this was what they were trying to keep Ray J from talking about? What if this is really the situation there? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, now, I don't need to play that back again, but matter of fact, I won't even play that back again. Why would I say that? I was going to talk about the baby when he met Beyonce there. Maybe Ray J was at that particular event there, right? We can say that. Let's just say that. Maybe Ray J was at that particular Diddy party that Beyonce was at. Remember the baby confirmed to us that Beyonce was at a Diddy party? And everybody had left, and it was just Beyonce, Diddy, and just 12 other people. Remember that? So I don't, I shouldn't be surprised necessarily about what he's saying about, Ray J could have been diddling Beyonce and Jay-Z watching. Especially if I'm watching videos of Diddy smacking you in your ass twice. Like it's nothing.
different men, such as Ray J.
Let me ask you something, Jonathan. Have you ever been to any Diddy parties or anything like that?
No, I haven't.
Were you ever invited or anything like that?
I was invited during the pandemic.
Okay.
But what we know as a Diddy party now isn't the same. You know, like when I was asked to come to one of his parties, I had no idea that it was going to be like a freak off or, anything else. And honestly, like I regret not going because I would have liked to seen how crazy it would have. Like, would he have been out front? Like, how did he move? Did he send everybody home? And when you're going home, blah, 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 blah. Like, that's when it was about to start off. But when I was working, this is another thing, people can check me and fact check. I was working with the Notorious Big Camp, right? And I did a deal with Biggie's estate. Biggie was best friends with who? Jay-Z, and he was signed to Diddy. And a lot of people say, oh, Biggie was about to leave Bad Boy. No, he wasn't. They're confusing that with Tupac. Biggie says in the song Hypnotize, that was released a week before he died. Close like Starsky and Hutch. Me and Puff, close like Starsky and Hutch. Right? They were best friends. So they were always together. So Jay-Z being close to Biggie and Diddy. So when I'm working with the Biggie, so when I work with the Biggie estate and the Biggie camp, of course, they're close to Jay-Z and Diddy. So when I was out there working with them, signed with them, with CJ Wallace, Biggie's son, and we went viral on that type of stuff, I met like Willie Mack, I met like King Combs, Christian Combs, because they were all friends and they were all family. Diddy and CJ were super close. So of course, and we were doing a Biggie project. So of course I dealt with Puff. So of course I know what I'm talking about. Like, once again, all this can be fact checked. Because I hear those stuff about, like, Jaguar Wright is just, out here saying, a bunch of BS. And, I've heard that I've got it. It's like, no, you can fact check that. It's easy. It's easy to find. And ask them. Ask the Notorious Big Estate if they invite me to a Diddy party.
So can I ask you, when you see someone says, like a Ray J, Jaguar Wright is crazy, if they bring up your name, oh, what he's talking about is just crazy. What do you say to those who just try to write that off as crazy because it sounds so, I guess you could say, unbelievable?
So prove it. So prove it that she's crazy. Prove it that she's not telling the truth. Because a lot of people are listening and paying attention to her.
Right. It seems as if they say someone needs to produce receipts. Sometimes it's hard to produce a receipt of something that you visually saw with your own eyes. You didn't take a picture. You didn't write it down. Someone just telling you what they recall from just seeing it, or a phone call they got. We live in a world back then. There was no receipts back in the late 90s, early 2000s. It was before social media, or like text messaging was very heavy. And you didn't keep the text messages back then. There was no cloud storage to where I could have a receipt from 20 years ago. It's just basically going off memory. Like, I'm sure everything that you're saying is going off of your memory of what happened versus, oh, I went home and I took a picture, or I wrote this down in an email and sent it to myself so I could bring it up 20 years later. What do you say to that as far as the time gap which these things occurred versus retelling your story now?
I mean, listen, I agree with what you're saying, but there's also the other side of it too, is we also have to protect some of the people around us that don't want to be out there, that don't want to be known. Like, for example, there's a woman who, she has 4 kids and she's in New York, and she's like going to like Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts and doing stuff for the kids. She doesn't want other parents to know about her past. And, so when we say some things, we have to hold some stuff back to protect other people that were around that don't want to be associated by that. You understand what I'm saying? So I know that she has that as well.
That's very true. And I think some people forget that sometimes other people are affected by stories that are being told where they have children, and they you have to look into all of that and the ramifications of it.
Correct.
I want to go back to this. We'll call it a rumor for now. What you heard about Ray J, Beyonce, and Jay-Z, and I'm just curious, Jonathan, when you hear information like that, when that comes to you, what are your thoughts? Is it normalized when you hear like cuckold situations and with celebrities? Is that normal when you hear that, or is that like, are you surprised when you hear information like that?
I'm surprised when it comes to, Jay-Z, especially because it's, like Beyonce, but it's pretty normal. Surprisingly, it's an industry that's very dominated by sex and drugs, right? And it's out there. Like, nobody's hiding it. Like, so if people would be, like, shocked, if we're shocked, we're not really paying attention to the music and videos and images that we're listening to, because it's right in front of our face. Like, it's not hidden, right? Everybody's talking about it and everybody's acting that part. Well, then they could say, well, this is just art. Well, maybe. But I know from Jay-Z, when he used to have his T-Mobile sidekick.
So another thing too, I wanted to say this too. I downloaded the book Secrets of the Occult Masonry. So the Occult Secrets of Freemasonry is pretty much breaking down all the hand signals, the actual step-by-step process of becoming a Mason, everything, right? And I'm going to be going over that book on the Patreon next week. We're going to be going through that entire book. We're going to be doing a couple different parts of that. Because right now, of course, it's the holiday season, so it's not too much news in the media. The crazy thing is, even in the past 2 weeks, that I did that 2 weeks on my head. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew it wasn't going to be too much in the media, and they pretty much were going to be running the same story back and forth, which they did. They pretty much was running the same stories back to y'all that I left off talking to y'all about, which was the drones and the Jay-Z shit. They pretty much, there wasn't really much else going on in the media right now, right? And Papoose and Remy, which we're going to get into in just a second. But again, they can't, they're trying to run the same shit going over and over and over in the media again. And what Jonathan Hay is talking about, you know, again, this isn't the first time that Jay-Z has been investigated, allegedly, for, you know, essaying or even trafficking. Remember, Jonathan Hay talked about it before in his other interview that this is not the first. Back in the day in the 2000s, I should say, they were investigating him for the Rihanna shit, remember? They were literally investigating him for the Rihanna shit. And remember when we watched I forgot who pointed, I think it was Fury B and a couple other people that pointed, Simple Town Radio and Fury B had pointed it out. The Barbados that was on the white containers in the Not Like Us video. And we pointed out that shot there that Kendrick threw to Jay, allegedly. Jonathan Hay was the first whistleblower to even tell us about the fact that he was being investigated back then in the early 2000s for Rihanna. And you have to think about Foxy Brown, 15 years old. You have to think about Beyonce being 17 years old, 16, 17 years old, barely when they met. You have to think about Aaliyah, young Aaliyah. Then you think about Carmen, of course, Nas's baby mother back in the day, young 16, 17-year-old. You have to think about all these other different young girls, all these different young ones, while Jay-Z's in his 30s, damn near, or about to be 30 years old. This isn't something that's new, and then we see that video earlier on. These things shouldn't be surprises to anybody anymore by now. If you have not watched the Iceberg Slim documentary that I did, or video that I did, like, if you will, I implore you go to the Patreon. I'll put the link in the description again for the Patreon and the Twitch. Definitely take a look at those. Definitely take a look at the Iceberg Slim one. It's a full breakdown for you of the timeline of how this gentleman has been doing for ages.
And you go to like that little, do you remember those? I'm older than you guys, so I don't know if you remember the little sidekicks, the T-Mobile two-way, type things. Yeah. So, I was with the girl, and he was asking about her, and then he was asking me stuff like, would you be interested in, like, somebody watching? He was just asking some really, really bugged out questions. And I still have those emails. I still have all that, So, like, that's one of the things that I was going to include in the book. I'm just trying to figure out how I would do that. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is, It just, I just get real frustrated about when I see these people talk about, okay, Jaguar wasn't there. And if she wasn't there, then she knows somebody who's came to her and talked to her, because I've been getting that so much, as I said.
Yeah, can I ask you in regards to even with what Sean Combs, what Diddy's going through, to see the lack of celebrities or people that technically were around at these parties, whether they were into some freak offs or not, is it surprising to see not many people speaking up? Like, what's your take on when you see other celebrities that were around him or called him a friend not speaking up at this time?
Well, I think that's that's to be expected because that the industry, they like you when you're hot. They don't mess with you when they're cold. So I'm not really surprised by nobody coming out and speaking out to his defense because with all the victims that are coming forward, how could you really? Because the hip hop community, as you guys know, will come together for a cause. We'll come together to fight the power and to fight for what is right. But people are just seeing too much evidence, too many victims, too much stuff to really be like, okay, nothing happened here. There's just too much.
Well, did you ever run into Farnsworth Bentley while dealing with Diddy?
I never did. No, he was I dealt with Diddy. Like this is up until 2021 with the Notorious B.l.a.c.
Oh, okay.
So I think he was gone.
What do you say to people that would say both you, Jaguar, others, let's say like, I don't want to speak on the victims right now, but just for you and Jaguar, what would you say for those that might say, hey, you have a vendetta to pick with either Jay-Z, with either Diddy or whoever it is? It seems like Jay-Z is a target as of now. Now that Diddy is already arrested, is it a vendetta against Jay-Z? If someone said, if someone used those words and said they have a vendetta against him.
Well, for sure, it's a vendetta. It's a vendetta for to speak for the people who can't speak, for the victims who can't say anything, who are scared, who are living in fear, who have been traumatized. So I don't know if vendetta is the right word. I'm definitely angry about it, and I definitely am just not gonna not say anything. Like when I started speaking out, I didn't know it would turn into so much. And I didn't know that it would turn into so many people reaching out to me, offering support and encouragement and talking to their stories and sharing their pain and sharing their trauma. So now it's deeper than that, because now I feel responsibility and an accountability for all these people that have been wronged by these celebrities.
Jonathan, how were you treated when you were dealing with them? Diddy and Jay-Z, how were you treated by them?
I was treated good. It was just, it's all fake love, right? Like Jay-Z never paid. Diddy always did, and especially dealing with like the Notorious B.l.a.c. and CJ Wallace, they never complained about that. Like Diddy was always seemed to be pretty generous with coming through on his word. Jay-Z, from my dealings with him, he doesn't. He's like a slow payer type person, so, I don't really know. But now I know that they're upset, right? Because people are coming to speak out. And let's be honest, Jay-Z and Beyonce, they're starting to fall off. And there's a chink in their armor. And people like us are just going forward because finally something penetrated through, no Diddy, that we are able to go after Jay and bring Jay down and have him face justice. Because we couldn't have done this a year ago. We couldn't have done this before they had Diddy in custody and before, the investigation started and everything else. It showed that they weren't above the law anymore. You know what I mean? So people have came together and people are rallying together. And yeah, there's several people talking, but that's amongst a whole bunch of people that are coming to us.
Can I ask you your thoughts on Jaguar Wright speaks on?
All right. So, I was looking, right? Just for shits and giggles. Beyonce IG. Right? Look at this. I'm just looking at the comments. This is on her little Cowboy Carter Christmas Houston, Texas that they're doing for the football game that's going to be coming in Christmas, right? They're doing it on Netflix, doing a big special for it. So it says, we can't wait and we know what we'll have in hand. But look what these other ones say. It's time to retire, girl. She basically said the show must go on with or without Jay. Never gonna listen to you ever again. Justice for all the victims. Does the white outfit symbolize the parties? Those of you who have been on the show before, you know, I've always gone over the, you know, IG comments just to see what's going on in, you know, the Beehive. Just to see if the Beehive is that rattled. For people who are hesitant to subscribe to Patreon, is worth $3. Yes, it definitely is. Simpletown Radio. Thank you so much for saying that. I greatly appreciate that. And yes, this is for when, if you guys, you know, do see me again cut from YouTube, that is where you need to go. The Patreon as well as Twitch TV. We don't have enough people on Twitch like that. We don't be having 30, 40 people in Twitch for me to be doing the lives on Twitch like that. That's why I just say, you know what, I'm gonna just take the hiatus. And I also wanted to ask you guys before we move on to the next subject. I also wanted to ask you guys, what would you feel if we started doing gaming on the channel as well? I saw DJ Beard Gang has the DJ Beard Gang gaming channel. What would you guys like if we did gaming as well on the channel? I thought about, you know, incorporating gaming as well as, you know, the pod. So let me know in the comments if you guys would like to, in the chat as well, if you'd like to see, you know, the gaming as well, because I don't, when I'm not on here, that is my leisure. That is my leisure. That is my escape away from, you know, the madness of the world and the rabbit holes that I go into. So if you guys would like to see the gaming, you know, we be on 2K sometimes. Right now I'm running Marvel Rivals. Sometimes I even play Texas Chainsaw. And other things. We'll be doing brand new games that'll be coming out, of course. I'll be doing, like I said, it's going to be a whole gaming channel that I'm going to have. I've already started and named it Chill Murray Gaming. So do look out for that as well. I want to see the cover. The Game Awards, honestly. See, that's the thing too. The funny thing is, I did watch some of the Game Awards. I saw the new Animushu coming out. It's a couple of things that I did. Like Astrobot, I knew was going to win Game of the Year because they were saying who was going to win between that and Wukong. I already knew. See, the thing is, I wanted Wukong to win. Damn it, I wanted Wukong to win, but I knew it wasn't going to stand a chance against Astrobot because of the universal appeal of Astrobot. So I already saw who was going to win that one. But anywho, yes, I did see some of the gaming awards as well. But we will be having an entire gaming channel that I will be incorporating here, as well as having the pod. But like I said, I would like to know if you guys would like that content as well. I don't want to just, you know, leave everybody out. And of course, I want to have it scheduled scheduled on the weekends, of course, mainly. It won't be like every single night. It will be on the weekends. Throughout the weeknights, we will be doing this, okay? Throughout the year. We will be doing this on a regular basis still. But on the weekends, I would like to incorporate you guys in my other part of my life as well. So, yes, it definitely was. It definitely was. It was just a regular video game, which that's what I said. I didn't understand how it won, but I do get it. I do get it. And maybe it has some features that, you know, other video games, you know, didn't have or whatever. But for that to win over Wukong, it was a slap in my face. But anywho.